Well, today's episode, we're just going to be reviewing four reviews today. The first one is going to be Stardom in Showcase Volume 3 with all those wacky type of stipulations and all that other cool stuff. We even got more on New Japan Pro Wrestling. Continuing on with the World Tag League tournament, we're going to see who's going to be, seems like they may be most likely getting to the end. And then, of course, NWA USA, and then final week of New Japan Strong with Showdown. And, of course, a couple of news updates just to know what's been going on in the world of pro wrestling. So, let's get ready for another episode of Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Welcome everybody to Deleted Wrestle Zone, all things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, J-Rod here. Before I proceed, yes, folks, I'm still sick. If you guys hear me by the sound of my voice, I'm trying to fight it off, but it's a little too strong. But I'm going to do the best of my ability to give you guys the best review. So we're just going to proceed right now what we got. So let's start with Stardom's in Showcase Volume 3. Now it opened up with, of course, a pre-show with the Goddess Tag League match. We have 7-Up, Yu and Nanane Takahashi taking on Wing Gori, Hanan, and Saya Ida. Now the match was okay, not to any standards, but I had a feeling that Saya Ida is going to do her little powerhouse maneuver onto Yu. I always thought that it was going to be interesting, but however, the teaming between Yu and Nanane was pretty amazing, so they picked up the win by applying their finisher, and that kind of sets in. Now, our first opening match of this is the Anywhere Fall Count four-way match. Now, if you guys remember, this is one of those matches that kind of was brought upon both Azumi and Koguma, where all anywhere counts. It doesn't matter where you get pinned, if it's in the bathroom, in the stairs, or escalator, anywhere. So, but this time they brought in once again Ram Kaicho, who was part of the same one in Volume 2, but this time they brought in Starlight Kid. I thought this was a bit of a wacky, but however, in this particular match, it was Koguma who walked out as the victor when she applied the Kuma roll onto Azumi. Now, Ram Kaicho thought she had the one match on their hip, but apparently the ref saw Koguma had the better advantage because she got it first before she did. So, I don't know if in Volume 4 we're going to see more of these full counts anywhere match, but we'll see. Now, next match is dubbed as the shampoo match. Basically, there's like this little pool with water and shampoos. This is consistent with Himika, Momokogo, Saya Ida, and Saya Kamitani and Lady C. I don't know. I wasn't too much of a. I kind of got lost in the shuffle on this particular match. Don't get me wrong, but I did hear that what's her name? What's their name? Waka Tsukiyama and Unagi were having a little fun with this match. They enjoyed it a lot. I don't know why. Someone took a photo where they were actually watching this, and I thought it was interesting that they were seeing it. But I wasn't sure how this one's gonna end because it was kind of bizarre. But it was, but of course, everything applied with pinfall and submission. That was one thing that was clear. But I don't know what's the purpose of the shampoo match in this. But it was Lady C by submission onto Momokogo that picked up the win. I don't know if this counts as one of her big matches because I know that in the past she had been taking a lot of shit from Micah in the past. But we'll see about that. But one thing was funny, Momokogo didn't know where she was, so she needed a towel to wipe off the shampoo off her eyes. So kind of interesting. Now our next match is a judo jacket 6-woman tag team match. Some of these girls have judo backgrounds. Our first team, we have Hanan and Mayu Otani of Stars teaming up with DDM's Micah to take on Hanan and Utami Yoshida of Queen's Quest, and of course Mirai. Now, before I proceed, I don't know if you guys noticed Mirai's gear that she was wearing. It's the same gear she was wearing when she was with Tokyo Pro. Kind of weird, but I don't know what to make of it. But it was really interesting. However, everything was like all judo in certain ways. I know that Hina, Hana, Utami, and Micah they have a judo experience. I know that because before anything else, I was well aware. I don't know about Mayu or Mirai, but they did able to hold their own. But it was, of course, Micah who picked up the win by applying a submission. I think like a chokehold type maneuver onto what's her name, onto Hina to pick up the win. So okay, no problem. Now this is one of the matches I was looking forward to. It's a no holds barred tag team match. We have Oedo Tai consistent of Natsuko Tora, Saki Kashima, and versus Tsuruminatsu and Hazuki. Now, keep in mind, Tsuruminatsu and Hazuki were former members of Oedo Tai. Now, this is one of those kind of like matches where it's like some unresolved issues from both sides. That kind of deal. But you know how Oedo Tai operates. If you guys ever seen Stardom, you know this is gonna go where Oedo Tai will get themselves involved. The ones who are not involved in the match, like Starlight Kid, Momo Watanabe, not Saki, Rina, who else? Ruka. They're gonna get where, but luckily the stars were there to watch. They were there to back them up. So the ref tossed this match out into a no contest. But however, Natsuko Tora said something to Tsuruminatsu, and she told her that from this moment forward, Oedo Tai are officially divorced from Tsuruminatsu. So that means they're done with her. And when we thought that Azuki and Tsuruminatsu were about to bury the hatchet, well, Tsuruminatsu actually whacked her with a bottle right in the head. But she did say that she will invade the next time as a freelancer. So this thing between Tsuruminatsu and Azuki may not be over at all between those two. That's going to be an interesting development to take place. So we may never know when Tsuruminatsu will pop up. Now our next match, this is the Hardcore 6-woman tag team match. Now this is between prominence members Haruki Karumi, Suzuki, and Risa Sera taking on Cosmic Angels, Unagi Sayaka, who came back for this particular day, Natsupoi, and Tam Nakano. I didn't know how this was going to proceed, but I saw Natsupoi brought Kanemaru's whiskey. Yeah, it's the same whiskey that she used at 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 the historic crossover, and I thought it was kind of interesting. Now, if Cosmic Angels win this match, Meltier, Natsupoi, and Tam Nakano will be able to perform their theme song. But man, I have to say, I know people were confused with the Cosmics Rules match, but I have to say, them being involved in this type of match kind of was impressive. I didn't think they had it in them to go in this type of match, going hardcore. I know Tam has first-hand experience because prior before going to Stardom, she was involved in the Onita Farewell Tour, if I can recall. But it was pretty well received. I did like what they were doing, and all this. But one thing it was funny is that they try to paint their faces, to prominence. I thought it was really funny. But I think what made this worse is when Tam tried to pretend that she thinks she's not Great Muda by applying the poison mist. She accidentally was trying to get Zuzu, but Zuzu ducked and got Unagi, and Natsupoi tried to spit out the whiskey. That also was a flop, but it was Zuzu, in the other hand, who picked up the win by applying the German suplex onto Unagi. Now, I don't know what they said to the Cosmic Angels, but I'm going to blow on a whim. I'm going to say maybe they were impressed that they weren't all like looks and all that. Because in the past, they have criticized them in previous times. But I have to say, maybe this particular match might have opened their eyes and say, maybe they're not as they thought they were. Who knows? But that's not in there during their post match. They called out Oedo Tai members Kashima, Watanabe, and Starlight Kid. Now, Kid opened up the idea that she's willing to put the artist belt on the line against the invaders. Now, if you guys are not familiarized with the term, invaders are in fact wrestlers who are outside of the promotion. They're not bred from the same promotion, but they are everywhere, and that fits prominence. So, Zuzu Suzuki, Risa Sera, and Hagire Harige Kurumi will be involved in this match between them, and it's going to take place on December 29th. So that's going to be a match we definitely got to pay attention to. Now, our main event is the Exploding Coffin 6-person tag match. We have DDMs consisting of Tekla, Masakurai, and Julia. Now, if you guys notice, this is the second time Sakurai ends up in the main event. Her first one was, in fact, at wait a minute, this is the third time, I think. First time was in February when she joined DDM. And the last time was, during the the Gold Rush, where they lost. But they take on Neo Stardom Army consisting of Yui, Nana Takahashi, and the Grim Reaper. Now, I knew from the very beginning the Grim Reaper will be targeted by Julia. Reason is, Julia hates people with masks. She thinks their sole desire is that they want to remove it. But when she removed the Grim Reaper's mask, it was a mask underneath the mask. Now I'm going to explain to you about something that somebody tweeted this. I don't know if it's 100% accurate, but we'll see. But the match was pretty interesting. I think it showed the Grim Reaper doing like Grim Reaping moves. I thought it was great, But I like it how they never revealed who is this person underneath the mask. We don't know. I think that played out a great mystery. But once again, the casket broke, just like the first time. But this time there was a second one from a distance, and they dragged everyone there, all 3 members of DDM, plus Rossi Ogawa, and kaboom, it got on fire. I'm like, wow, that was a pretty good match. Now, the Grim Reaper we saw, someone tweeted this. I'm not going to say I agree with this person, but this guy has a very interesting theory. He thinks the person who plays the Grim Reaper underneath that mask is Mina Shirakawa. Like, there is no way that could be her because, to me, I feel like wouldn't she still be under pain after her teeth, her jaw messed up? There's no way that could be her. But I don't think that would have been proper irresponsible for Stardom to do that. But whoever that person is, I give credit the way she portrayed like the Grim Reaper and with the movements and all that. I think that's pretty cool to watch. So I don't know when it's the next showcase, but we do know we do have another Stardom event. Then we continue on more with the Goddess Tag League, and then we'll move on from there. So right now, let's move on with New Japan Pro Wrestling. Okay, World Tag League for New Japan Pro Wrestling. So these are all the matches only involving that. So here's who we have. Our first opening match, we have Gabriel Kidd and Alex Coughlin taking on LIJ Sonata and Naito. Now, Gabriel Kidd, I don't know what he was thinking. He thought he can probably antagonize Naito, but come on. Naito is the master of Tranquilo style. Come on. That's how it works with them. But I have to say they put up a good, both Kidd and Coughlin put up a good effort against LIJ. Now remember, LIJ with Sonata and Naito, they seem like they are a formidable tag team. There's always have been. But keep in mind, Naito does have his sights set still, looking for a way to get involved into Wrestle Kingdom, since 2 attempts have failed. So we'll see what happens then. But it was, of course, the Destino by Naito that finished off Coughlin, giving them the win on this one. Now, our next match, we have the United Empire consistent of Great-O-Khan and Aaron Henare taking on TMDK, Shane Haste, and Mickey Nichols. It was a pretty good match. Now, some people would have thought that in this particular match that TMDK could win, But there are those who are saying, what if the two teams within United Empire win in the finals? Well, we still got a long way to go from there, but we will see till then. But it was, of course, the combination net breaker by both Khan and Hinare that were able to have them win their match, giving them the clear message saying that they will make it all the way to the finals. But we'll see about that. Next match, we have Bullet Club consisting of Chase Owens and Balak Fale taking on the other members, the subgroup of Bullet Club House of Torture, consistent of Yujiro and Evil. Now, you know this type of match, how it's going to go. We know wherever Evil and Yujiro goes, Sho and Dick Toga are always there. But that did not work this time. Because keep in mind, certain members of Bullet Club don't even trust House of Torture. I mean, I feel they should just leave the House of Torture out of this and keep them out of the Bullet Club. So it would have been better that way. But in this case, it kind of fits in. But it was the grenade by Balak Fale onto Yujiro that picked up the win. So that was not bad on their part. Next up, we got Suzuki Goons. Everybody dies. Lance Archer and, of course, the King, Minoru Suzuki, taking on B-Poop Tag Team, consistent of Toru Yano and Hiroshi Tanahashi. Now, keep in mind, these guys have come across these individuals time and time again on various occasions. However, you know how in the world you gonna escape? Yano's gonna escape from these two men. We know Suzuki will do anything to hurt him, and the same thing with Lance Archer. But it was, of course, the blackout by excuse me, by Archer onto Yano that picked up the win. In our main event, we have, of course, Aussie Open, Kyle Fletcher and Mark Davis taking on Bishamon, last year's winner, Yoshihashi and Hiroki Goto. That match was unbelievable. I like this one. I think there was a lot of a split on this particular match because, as you know, Aussie Open are facing against last year's winners. But it was, of course, the Coriolis that was able to finish off Yoshihashi to give Aussie Open the momentum, the win. So that's exactly how it is. But, however, they do speculate. Many fans speculate that they're the ones who are going to win the entire tournament and go to Wrestle Kingdom to dethrone FTR. That is something we're definitely going to wait and see when we get there. So I think that's pretty much it, what we got. Let's move on with NWA USA. Okay, NWA USA. Open up with the Pope and JTG taking on the Miserable Faithful, Gags the Gimp, and Judias. Now, however, this match was rather bizarre, but not on the Pope and JTG's part. Sal the Pal continues to antagonize Gags the Gimp for some odd reason, pulling him out of the match, try to disrupt him. I don't know what's the deal with this, with Gags, about why they're doing this to him. I know he's been useful at times, but it still makes no sense. But because of that, it did allow for the Pope does the Elijah Express onto Gags the Gimp to for them to win the match. So I don't know what is the deal with the Miserable Faithful with Gags the Gimp. That is still unclear. We know the last time something like this happened, Gags the Gimp tries to help forgot who it was until he was attacked by Sal the Pal. That kind of goes in a different storyline. We don't know, but we'll find out. Now, our next match, this was an unfair advantage match. Natalia Markova taking on Ella Envy, but the special guest referee was Kenzie Page. Now, we all know this was an unfair advantage because that's how it is. And of course, the Pretty in Power are refusing to accept that. Yes, we're cheating. No, they're not. They don't believe that. But it didn't take long until Natalia Markova tried to find ways to outmaneuver everyone on this. And I think that tells us that she was smart enough to kick out. But when she does her little high kick corner to take out Ella Envy, Kenzie Page had no other choice but to count it out. But once she gets to the third count, Natalia Cope just slapped her dad down and boom, wins the match. Now, as you know, we just found out the name of the team that attacked question mark 2. They call themselves Blunt Force Trauma. One is called Carnage. The other one is Damage. So they're all out on a mission to destroy anybody in the NWA. Our next interview with Malachi, we have female wrestling legend named Baby Doll and her daughter Samantha Starr. It appears that we're going to be seeing more of them coming into the picture, so it's kind of interesting. I never heard of Baby Star, but I'll do my best to find out who she is. Now, our main event is for the NWA Junior Heavyweight title. We have Colby Corino being accompanied by Homicide, which was unusual to take on Kerry Morton and his father, who's by his side, Ricky Morton. I thought this match was great until Homicide flipped Colby Corino. I don't know what's the deal with this, but it was rather unusual. But Kerry Morton did with the kiss kiss goodbye or something like that. He took out Colby Corino to retain the title. So it's still unclear what Homicide is trying to do. But we'll hopefully in the upcoming weeks we'll find out what is going on. So I think that's pretty much it. So let's move on with our last final review, New Japan Strong. Okay, New Japan Strong. This is the final week of Showdown. Opened up with Jacob, Austin Young, and G Sharp taking on Aussie Open, Kyle Fletcher, and Mark Davis. Now, some of you may say, didn't I just review them at the World Tag League? Yes, I did, but keep in mind, just to put this on record, all their shows are pre-taped in 2 or 3 weeks in advance. That's how the whole thing works with them. But I have to say it was a pretty good darn match, because I seen how Jacob, Austin Young, or as like we call him, Jay, and Sharp are cohesive, but dealing with a team that today are now being considered as the best tag team in the world. And I think that says a lot. But it took only the Coriolis onto Sharp to pick up the win. I think it showed a lot of conviction in this particular match. Now, our next match, we have Jake Something taking on Juice Robinson. Now, this is a match where you see how Juice Robinson can get, more vicious and more deadly as he ever was. He's taking a guy who is big, strong, and all of this. Now, you probably could say there is no storyline between it, but Juice is the kind of guy's like, I don't give a fudge, that sort of thing. And I think it tells it all. But it took, how do I say? It took a while for Jay Something to try to see if he can put him down, but Juice refuses to stay down until he got pinfalled on this particular match. However, as soon as the match was won, we saw Blake Christian decided to attack Juice Robinson out of nowhere. And I recently saw this on Twitter. Blake Christian goes calling the Bullet Club Bullshit Club. Now, where do we hear that? Oh, that's right. Alex Zane, who also has his fair issues. Alex Zane even replied about that. Bullshit Club. I wouldn't be surprised if those two team up somewhere down the line. But it's already been told that Blake Christian will be facing Juice Robinson soon enough, and I thought it's going to be interesting to see. Now, our main event, we have Fred Rosser, who is the face of New Japan Strong, taking on the top guy of New Japan Pro Wrestling, and we're talking about Jay White. And I thought this match was amazing. Basically, this was a non-title match. No title was posted on the line today. But I thought it was pretty impressive until when Jay White had the referee did not see what he was going to do. He gave him a low blow, and of course, the running Blade Runner, and 1, 2, 3, it was over. But however, Jay White says that you may be the face, but he's the guy who is the catalyst. So basically, he claims that he owns everything. But despite the fact that he pinned him, tells him that he does get an opportunity for the Strong Openweight Championship, but he's not going to do that. He's going to give that to a member of Team Filthy. and that member is JR Kratos. So basically, he comes out, does his business, and boom, he just leaves them there, like just like that. So, so Fred Rosser has his work cut out, and now we're gonna see what happens when he faces him. So I think that's pretty much it right now with New Japan Strong. I think it's time for news updates. Okay, so here are our updates for today. We have Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, as you know, they're starting naming entrants for the Battle of Los Angeles. The fourth entrance of today is Speedball Mike Bailey. This is not his first time being in Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, but I cannot recall has he ever participated in. No, I don't think he's ever participated in Battle of Los Angeles. But that's going to be interesting for him to see. Now, good news coming from New Japan Pro Wrestling. They're lifting off the crowd reaction ban. As you know, in the past, ever since for 2 years, New Japan hasn't had people cheering and yelling for their favorite wrestlers, sing along with the theme songs. So it looks like they're gonna lift that up, and I think that's a good thing. We saw only certain events that were allowed to do that, but looks like it's gonna happen from now on. So congratulations, guys. As you know, we're almost at the end of the year. Wrestling Revolver announced for their last pay-per-view of the year, season finale. We're going to have Billy Starks taking on Marina Shafir. This is going to be on the 3rd of December, so mark that on your calendars. Now, as you know, the Iron Survivor challenge is happening up. It was announced by NXT. Molly Holly is going to be helping Shawn Michaels to select the participants in this particular event. So it's going to be interesting to see that. Then finally, with the return of the Elite in AEW, there's a lot of speculations. Will Punk return to AEW? That's yet to be seen. There were rumors circulating in AEW or thinking about buying out CM Punk's contract. But however, reports are coming out saying that AEW have no interest in that. So we don't know what's the deal. Recently, we have heard reports coming out that people within the AEW roster said they're not fans of the Elite or Colt Cabana. They rather see Punk stay. So we don't know how that turns out, but we will stay on top of this as much as possible. Hopefully, something will come about from this, and I think that's pretty much it. So let's just call it a day. Okay, so hope everybody enjoys this episode. Right now, I'm feeling like crap because I'm a little sick now. Hope I'll get better soon enough, but I'm gonna try to reduce what reviews I'm gonna do, keep them minimum, so I don't have to tire myself out. But there are some events I'm definitely gonna be coming up. We got more on the New Japan stuff with Super Junior Tag League / World Tag League, and of course there's the Masahiro Takanashi show that you can see right now on the Got to Move YouTube site. I'll be reviewing that. There's still some more events I haven't seen yet, but I'll just keep just winging on this one, folks. I'm not sure if I'm going to be if I want to watch Survivor Series, but we'll see about that. I'm still haven't determined yet. But right now, I'll see you guys in the next DWZ time. Same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So, goodbye. Mwah. And have a nice day. Bang.